Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 6th of July up until the 12th to see if there are any games releasing that are worth your time and money. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. Let's start with a game from the sponsor of today's video and their upcoming release on the Switch, Dros. This is a dark fantasy adventure where you'll swap between a small gooey creature and her human bounty hunter Shell, exploring freely through 40 unique diorama-like levels. You'll play as the two vastly different characters, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, as you wiggle, jiggle and sneak around as the gooey little Dros, or bust down hefty doors to clear the way as the robust captain. Obstacles will await you and you'll need to use your smarts to solve the various puzzles and fend off a number of different creatures. Dros will sell for £22.49 or your regional equivalent, but it will have a huge day one discount, bringing it down to just £8.99 or €9.99, and this discount lasts for a good month all the way up until the 11th of August. There'll be links in the description and the top pinned comment if you are interested in picking this one up, and again a thank you to the publishing team for sponsoring this episode. Just the one game that's already out, and that's Reverie Tale's Stronger Together. This is a co-op game where you'll take on the role of two characters, Furple the kitten or Finn the fish, in a bid to solve puzzles and defeat end of level bosses. The blurb says your journey will be filled with innovative and fun river themed challenges. The further you travel, the more mechanics and puzzles you'll face. To succeed, working together with a partner is absolutely vital. It does go on to say that whilst the game is designed with co-op in mind, there is a lone wolf mode where one player can control both characters, and in that respect it sounds a bit like the game Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is also on the Switch by the way. This one released a few days ago on the 4th of July and it sells for £16.75 or your regional equivalent. Moving on to the games coming out this week then, and the first of those is Ogre Tale. This calls itself an arcade-like swordplay action game, a fusion of hack and slash with training elements, it goes on to say. It's set in modern Japan where you fight against yokai as the three ogre sisters who are descendants of the ogre tribe. There are more than 50 missions, with you exterminating various yokai across regions of Japan. It mentions that you'll play as the villains, with the yokai that you are fighting actually being heroes from Japanese fairy tales, and as well as your basic acts of attacking, jumping and dodging, you can also assign skills to the weapon slots you have, with the rarer the weapon, the more slots it contains. It's going to release on the 11th for £17.50, although you can get 25% off of that price up until just before launch. We next have Princess Maker 2 Regeneration. Now I'll be honest, this is a series I've never even heard of, but having done a little bit of research into it, apparently it's been going for quite a while. There are about 5 games in the series in total, as well as some spin-offs, judging by what I read, and the original Princess Maker 2 released just over 30 years ago back in 1993. This version has redrawn graphics and is based on a version called Princess Maker 2 Refine, which came out in 2004, and the basic concept is you effectively play as a surrogate father, raising a young girl with your decisions, shaping her in terms of her personality and dreams and aspirations as she gets older. There are a number of different endings to discover, I guess based on your decisions through the game, and it does say that some quality of life features have been added here to make it easier to assess the stats of the character in the game. It's going to sell for £34.99, quite a high price for quite a niche game. But I'd be interested to know if this series does have any fans out there. I'm not sure how readily available it's been over the years in terms of releases on popular consoles or even the regions that it's been available in, but this one is out on the 11th if you are interested. The next game is Parasol Stars, the story of Bubble Bobble 3. This is the third game in the Bubble Bobble series, as the title would imply, with the first of course being Bubble Bobble and the second was Rainbow Islands. It's always intrigued me with this series how the 3 games were quite different from each other, rather than just releasing sequels that ever so slightly refined the gameplay mechanics from the first game, and this is one I've never played. I've played obviously Bubble Bobble and I've played Rainbow Islands, both great games. This one didn't release in arcades back in the day as far as I can see, First releasing on the PC Engine or TurboGrafx 16, as it was known in some regions, back in 1991, and it did receive limited releases on other consoles such as the Amiga, the Game Boy and the NES, albeit only in Europe for those particular consoles. It's nice to see this one get a release. It's going to sell for £8.99 or again your regional equivalent, but it does have 10% available off of that price up until launch day, which is the 11th. Also this week we have Bleach Brave Souls, which is going to be a free-to-play game, releasing on the 11th of July. This is based on the manga and anime TV series Bleach, and will be a 3D hack and slash game, promising to faithfully reproduce the story of the anime, the manga and the novels. It promises a host of characters from the source material, and it says you'll be reliving your favourite scenes and special techniques from the anime. You can go online and take part in epic 3-on-3 battles according to the blurb, with players from all over the world, and it promises to scratch the itch for anime or manga fans looking for an action-packed game with a deep and engaging setting. This is not a series I know anything about, I must say, and I'm not massive into free-to-play games anyway. However, as I mentioned, it is out on the 11th if it is something that you are interested in, or of course you are a fan of the series. We also have Gluck, which is a short adventure game that takes place in a mining company. It says you'll need to convert ore into cash and survive life underground as you unravel the mystery of the mine's depths. The story recounts a character looking to restore water that once flowed freely into the village, so disguises themselves as a newbie miner and makes their way into the mine's deepest reaches. You must dig tunnels while relying on the help from your fellow miners and overcome all challenges to restore the water. It says the ore you find will be yours to keep, but you'll be using it to purchase helmets, batteries, tools and food as you make your way deeper down. That wasn't what I was expecting at all, I must say. I was expecting it to be quite a simple platformer or something to that effect, just very quickly judging by the screenshots that I saw. They do say you should never judge a book by its cover, but it does sound like there's a bit more depth to it and quite a sombre story as well. As with most games this week, it's out on the 11th and it will sell for £5.89 or your regional equivalent, but it is another game with a discount available 10% up until the 17th of July. Next is Night Reverie, which is a puzzle adventure game in which a child must solve the mystery behind the distortion of their house. It says that you'll enjoy a variety of dreamlike environments and discover the truth behind this bizarre place. You'll interact with a unique cast of characters and engage in conversations to discover more about the world. You can collect, combine and use a variety of items to solve the mystery of the house, and you'll also have to solve an array of both challenging and intuitive puzzles in order to get closer to the truth. It definitely has that lucid dream type quality to it, judging by the screenshots I've seen, and it will cost £13.49 when it releases on the 11th. The penultimate game for the week is Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown Deluxe Edition. Now I will say that this game isn't actually on the eShop at the time of me making this video, something that I normally stipulate must be the case in order for a game to be included, but many different outlets are stating that the 11th of July will be when this game releases, so many that it's almost impossible to ignore, so I will place it, but I don't have any prices available for the digital version at the time of creating this video. So Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown first released in 2019 and is a flight simulation combat game by Bandai Namco. It's not a flight simulator in the popular sense of the word, it is more arcadey than that phrase would suggest, and obviously it does have the combat nature to it too, and it's a well liked series, with this particular entry receiving positive reviews when it released 5 years ago. This version should include some of the DLC that was released for the game over the years, although I can't say definitively as to what's included. As I mentioned, as I'm making this, it's not actually on the eShop yet. All being well though, this should hit the Switch on the 11th of July. And the final game for the week then is called Deathchron. This is a retro-inspired platformer with an 8-bit style, where you'll be exploring various areas, upgrading your mech, taking on the game's platforming and battling bosses throughout your adventure. This comes via Ratalaika Games, and to be fair, they have released a number of pretty cheap retro style platformers of a decent quality over the last few months. I mean, they've been doing it since the Switch released, but their releases over the last few months in particular have been quite impressive for the price they're charging. As far as I'm concerned, this is another one that's going to sell for £4.99, or your regional equivalent. Seems to be their standard pricing, and it's going to release on the 12th. So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Do any of these games interest you? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick any of these games up, you can get your eShop cards over at our website, switchup.gg, and doing so will get you 5% of your purchase price back in cashback that you can then use against a future purchase. And there are links down there to various stores such as PlayAsia. There are Joy-Con on sale. Use the links and use the discount codes to save yourselves a bit of money. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.